Hello, and welcome back to the AusCannaPodcast. I'm your host, Christina McMullan, and today's episode is a little bit different. If you've been here a while, thank you for showing up, pressing play, and being a part of this space that we're building together. If you'd like to support the show, you can do that at buymeacoffee.com/AusCannaPodcast. Every contribution helps keep these conversations going. Now, let's take a breath and look back on the year that was. 2025 felt full of conversations, full of learning, full of moments where I sat back and thought, holy shit, we're building something special here. The AusCannaPodcast grew in leaps and bounds in 2025. And when Spotify sent through their creator year in review stats, I realized just how much. We were named a rising star. Our growth outpaced 83% of other shows. We were recognized as a marathon show. Listeners stayed with episodes longer than 92% of other shows. And we were listed as a talked about show, which means we got more comments than 86% of other shows. When you press play, you stay, you engage, you come back. That tells me that this show is doing what it's always meant to do, helping people feel more informed, more confident, and less alone in this space. So now let's get into the moments that defined this year. Every year, a few episodes rise to the top. The ones you listened to the most, the ones you shared, the ones that sparked conversations long after the mic was switched off. These were the 3 most downloaded episodes of the season. First, Season 3, Episode 9, with Derek Pyra, founder of No More Zombie Veterans. In this clip, Derek breaks down the endocannabinoid system in a way that makes complex science feel human and accessible.
I get excited when I talk about the ECS or the endocannabinoid system because who doesn't love it? It is the most amazing, important system in our body. It links we have doctors and specialists for all our body organs. We have a heart specialist, we've got a brain specialist, we've got whatever. And that's great that there's specialists for all those important organs. But there's one system that ties all those in together that makes them work properly. It's called the endocannabinoid system, or the ECS. It's a signaling system. It does things like it maintains your internal body temperature, it maintains your body's pH value, it regulates physical and emotional health, links everything together to make it work properly. How do you explain the ECS? The body can't function without it.
That episode reminded me how powerful education can be when it's delivered through lived experience. Next, Season 3, Episode 8. It was an on-the-road episode where I toured the MedCan facility. In this clip, Gareth Ball, MedCan's co-founder, speaks about the importance of supporting Australian growers.
We have to fly that flag. We have to tell people that. We have to be proud of what we do and, get people like yourself in. And even doctors, like we're very big in inviting doctors to our facility so they can understand there's a massive gap in education around the doctors and even understanding the plant and how it works and how it's cultivated and the different ways of cultivating. And that's part of our mandate, is to educate those people too, open our doors to get people to come in to try and bring them up to speed with this medication and how it works and what we do to produce it.
This conversation mattered, not just for the industry, but for patients who want transparency about where their medicine comes from. And the 3rd most downloaded episode, Season 4, Episode 4, with Christina W., founder of Fruit and Flower Co. In this clip, Christina talks about the masculine and feminine energies in cannabis and how those energies shape the plant, the business, and the culture around it.
Yeah, the business of cannabis is really intense. It's, the way I've been really able to navigate it and understand it in a better way is there's a masculine and there's a feminine. And I find that the more masculine approach, and this is not a male female. This is just like energetically, right? Something, it just, right now it's high THC, intense, move, money, business, more, bigger, more, faster. And then there's a feminine side that is more in tune with nature, more intuitive, more flexible. And, that's this masculine feminine can be used as an analogy for lots of things. But in the business of cannabis, I think like it's two very different sides that I see that aren't being balanced. And I see the medical side being forgotten. But yeah, everything's being pushed to high THC. I budtend at a dispensary here in Los Angeles and I love it there. But yes, I see people like they just care about THC. And I ask, sometimes I ask people, I'm like, hey, like, why are you looking for that? Is there a particular reason? And they say they can't feel it, but also it's just in the logic brain that most people have because they don't understand cannabis in that way. All you can do is I want the best value. The best value must be the highest THC percent. And yes, there's a lot of education that could be had, but someone just has to be even willing to accept that information in the first place.
This episode opened minds, and it sparked some of the most thoughtful listener messages I've received all year. Those 3 conversations helped define the tone of 2025. And now it's time for the moments that made us laugh, pause, and hit replay. If you know the show, you know that rapid fire questions are where things can get a little unpredictable. And this year delivered some absolute classics. First up, Season 3, Episode 7, where I sat down with Dr. Chris Schneider and Rick Palish from SVG. I asked them what's something they've done on autopilot. And Dr. Schneider's response was great.
Yeah, I don't know if it's weird, but it's just silly. I've gone, like, you get used to driving someplace, I've driven, back to my in my old house, after I moved, and I didn't even realize until I got there, and I'm like, wait, what am I doing?
Yeah, that's exactly.
So, and that was like an hour. I'm like, this is foolish, So it was, so there's, that's, and it was just because I just, picked up my daughter from school and, we were talking and I didn't think about it. So it was, so I realized I gotta, be more, cognizant of my way I'm doing it sometimes.
Did you just say that you picked up your daughter and literally drove an hour?
Laugh, buddy, laugh.
Love it though. I love it. That's great. It must have been a great conversation.
Yeah, I know we have great conversations. This is the highlight of my day. She tells me jokes and it's really, really good. But no, you gotta think about, what you're doing.
Stay focused.
That's still one of my favorite stories ever told on this show. Next, Season 3, Episode 11, where I sat down with patient and advocate Sharna Stewart. I asked a question about self-care, and somehow we ended up talking about Chinese takeaway containers.
A bath. That's my go-to. Like, I went years without being able to actually have a bath due to my disabilities, and it's still quite difficult, but now I get assistance in and out, and I just love the feeling of being in the bath and just, it's ultimate self-love sort of thing with the candles going and, maybe some soft music. I like to do that and sort of treat myself and just put in a bath bomb, and yeah, I think that's top tier self-care.
I don't actually remember the last time I took a bath, but this probably ages me a bit when I admit this. The only thing I ever really remember taking with me into the bath is when I was in university. And I remember getting really, really high and then getting into the bath. And again, this was the part that ages me. Take away Chinese food.
Oh,
maybe in
yes.
styrofoam containers.
Oh my
styrofoam containers float
Yes.
in the bath.
Oh, no way.
And so I might have been guilty of taking some fried rice, some sweet and sour pork into the bath with me and letting it just kind of
munchies as well.
Yeah, close a little clam lid on it, push it away, and be like, we're okay. We'll let that float back to me.
Exactly. That'll come back to me soon enough, and I'll have another mouthful.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds great, though. That's the way to have a bath. Yeah.
That clip became the most talked about rapid fire moment all year. I've had so many messages asking when I'm going to be releasing my floating rolling tray for the bathtub. A silly memory turned into a community inside joke and a product idea. That is the magic of unscripted conversations. And finally, Season 3, Episode 3, with Sasha LaForgia from Golden Days Cultivators. I asked him what scares him.
Oh, look, just coming on today is scary. I mentioned that before we started. It's a new industry for me. I'm trying to transfer all my skills over, and we're trying to be, our goal is to become one of the world's best cultivators, which is a big call from people who haven't grown up in the cannabis industry. So coming on a show like this, which has fairly large listenership, and kind of trying to talk about it is scary. But, I think it's a good thing. So
It's all about facing your fears, man.
yeah, that and skydiving.
I like the fact that you're comparing coming on my show to skydiving, because skydiving scares the shit out of me, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. I like it, Sasha. I like it a lot, actually. You know what? Maybe when you win your first cannabis award, we'll go skydiving together to celebrate.
I like it. Yeah, let's do it.
So you heard it here. When Golden Days Cultivators win their first cannabis award, Sasha and I are going skydiving to celebrate. There's one more thing that I want to celebrate in 2025. When I started this podcast, I had a quiet goal in the back of my mind. One day, I wanted to take these conversations beyond Australia. And this year, it happened. We took the AusCannaPodcast to New Zealand with Puro and to Thailand with Samai. To achieve that in less than 2 years, honestly, kicks ass. This year reinforced something important to me. This space needs real conversations. It needs patient voices. It needs industry insights. It needs honesty. And this podcast will keep showing up for that. Next year brings more guests, more stories, more international conversations, and more moments we could have never, ever scripted, even if we tried. And that's a wrap for this year's special Year in Review episode. Before I let you go, I want to share something personal. When I pulled together this year's Year in Review episode, I went back and listened to last year's so I could make sure that I followed the same format. And I realized I ended that episode by telling you I had found a lump in my left breast, that I'd gone for a biopsy, that the biopsy missed its target, and that I was heading for an MRI. And then I never gave you an update. So, my apologies. Here it is. The MRI results came back and the decision was made to stay under specialist care with a follow-up mammogram scheduled for October. When I went for that mammogram, it showed that the cluster of microcalcifications were stable, which means I'll stay under specialist care for 1 more year. And if my next mammogram, which is scheduled for October of this year, 2026, comes back stable again, I'll be released back into my GP's care. I'm not sharing this for sympathy. I'm simply sharing it as a gentle reminder. Book the routine checks, the mammograms, the skin checks, the prostate exams. Go to those appointments because early detection really is the difference between life and death. All right, now we're truly wrapped up. Until we meet again, friends, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen. Take care of yourself, and we'll chat soon.